just because the transaction's ending right now, that doesn't mean this is the end of my services to you. Whenever you need something, you call me first. Let me provide that resource to you.
Welcome to another episode of Outside the Box. My name's Justin Armbruster, full-time realtor here in Kansas. Sean Leary with BizBox. Today we have a special guest for you.
Yeah, today we have on Majid Ghavami. He is a Kansas City metro area realtor. Last year, he did 60 transactions and just under $30 million in sales. Really impressive guy. Majid, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, do you want to start off by telling us how you kind of got into the real estate business and kind of what you did before and where you're at now?
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of a unique story. My background was my family owned a construction company here in Kansas City, and I kind of grew up in that business. I mean, I was driving a forklift by the time I was 12 years old, and I just thought that's what I was probably going to do forever. But as I got older and after I graduated from KU and came back into the family business, I just knew it wasn't probably my passion. And I think my dad realized that too. So he decided to sell the company after we had a talk. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. But he sold the company. And then I had to stay on with the new owners for about 18 months as a consultant to them. But then at that point, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was 28 years old, had a psych degree from KU, which can't really do much with that. And so in December of 2008, I was at a Christmas party, and one of my friend's moms was a realtor. And she just kind of gave me the idea. She's like, I could see you doing real estate. You should look into it. And at that point, I hadn't been working for a couple months. I was like, I got to do something. So January 2009, I took the classes. February 2009, I signed up with Reese Nichols, and I ended up being Rookie of the Year that year. So then at that point, I was like, okay, I think I could do this. Yeah. And I've loved it ever since. It's been great.
So, okay, you've been with Reese Nichols your entire career then?
Almost. I left for about 16, 17 months.
Sure.
Went to another brokerage to see what it was all about. Nothing bad, but just decided to come back, had an opportunity to join the Rob Ellerman team, and you can't say no to Rob Ellerman.
Yeah.
So my wife and I jumped on that opportunity, and we've been very blessed with it.
Okay, so walk me through. I've heard a little bit about the Rob Ellerman team. So I'm from Topeka, so not too far away, but far enough where I don't maybe appreciate that. Rob Ellerman team at Reese Nichols. What's the idea of being on a team? How is that beneficial to you as someone who's been in it for a while and you're a producer? Why are you still on a team?
Rob runs a well-oiled machine. He provides a lot of resources for us realtors, and it makes us be better realtors for our clients. And my business was good, but I was kind of at this level where I was like having trouble getting to that next level. And when I saw the benefits of the team and what he offered, I was thinking, okay, this could really help. And sure enough, it did. It took us to that next level. Just with the marketing staff that he has in place, we have, people to help with our social media, our marketing, and things like that. The moving truck's a big piece. We have a free moving truck for our clients. And so it was amazing because at that point in my career, I'd already been in the business for a little over 10 years. And I felt good. I felt confident as a realtor. But making that step and joining the team and having all those resources really took my confidence level to another level. And I feel like clients can feel that. When they are dealing with a confident realtor who knows what they're doing, it makes them feel better. And so our business nearly doubled after a couple of years of joining the Ellerman team. And so it just made me a better realtor. And it's such a remarkable team because there's such a unity with the team. I mean, even though technically we're kind of competitors with each other, but we're still under the same umbrella, but we truly do care about each other and we're trying to make ourselves better. So it's really like a family is what I tell people. I know it's hard to believe, but it's truly amazing what the culture he's built.
Okay, so then what's a habit then or a routine that has consistently helped you stay in front of your kind of sphere of influence? Obviously, you've got a ton of people, to try to do that with. So that social media, the marketing team, what's kind of helping you generate that repeat and referral business?
I follow the Brian Buffini kind of methods and things like that. And, he says you need to have 36 touches a year, which that's a lot. I mean, that's basically 3 times a month. And so we do our best to do that. But, sitting a couple years ago, I sat down and I calculated. I'm like, well, we're only probably doing about 26 to 29 touches a year. But I think that's still better than nothing. You got to do, because part of it too is I don't want to be out there and be too much in front of my clients and just to be there. If I'm going to be in front of them, I want to provide some value.
Yep.
So one of the things I do consistently that I like a lot, and it's pretty easy to do, there's a program called HomeBot that I use, and it's just a monthly email that goes out to all my clients, and it tells them how their home value's doing, what's happening in their surrounding areas and things like that. And my open rate on that's kind of cool because you can watch in the background. But I think I have an 84% open rate on that, which is really high for email marketing,
Yeah.
So it's something that clients, because you're providing something of value, everyone wants to know what's my house worth, what's going on. So they can, every month they get that email. They see the data and what's going on. And it's even cool because if some clients have secondary homes, like maybe a lake house or a vacation home somewhere else, they can add that property to it too. And so it really keeps them invested. So that's one touch that once you set it up, it's pretty easy, but it's something that really provides value.
Okay, so you said that's called HomeBot, and it's a monthly email that goes out giving home values?
Yeah.
Going to write that down.
That's one of my favorite marketing pieces. I love it.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you pay for that a month?
So if you want to sign up for it, it's $50 a month. But if you pair up with a lender can share the cost with you, and it goes down to $25 a month. And it's a benefit to the lender. Their information pops up on the email, so they get some, good FaceTime with your clients and things like that. So,
cool.
For the investment, especially if you find a lender you like and you feel comfortable with, $25 a month, well worth it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Even the $50 a month, honestly.
I was just getting ready to say, especially if it's one of those automatic things, I don't have to think about it.
Right.
One of the things that I think is so difficult for realtors is we all, as realtors, we know what to do for marketing. We know, stay in touch with past clients, get on social media, emails. It's not rocket science. We understand how it works, but we get so distracted with all of the fires of actually doing our job that something like that, gets left in the back burner if it's not automatic, or if you don't have a rhythm in place, or you don't have a social media person who's running things in the background. It's so easy to get lost in all of the fires that we put out every day.
It is. I mean, being a realtor, we wear so many hats and we're juggling so many things, and it does get tough. And sometimes I've got sucked into working. You're working in the business, but sometimes you need to take a step back and work on the business. And that can be sometimes the toughest part about real estate.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Do you have some other systems in place kind of outside of HomeBot that you feel like has really helped stay in touch or provide another kind of value add?
Yeah, I'm a big handwritten note guy. So every month I do birthday cards, home anniversary cards. If I see on social media somebody just had a baby or there's a big life change, and I'll drop a note in the mail. So I do anywhere from maybe 75 to 100 handwritten notes a month. So I think that's just a nice, genuine touch. The only thing that sucks about that is the cost of postage has gone up quite a bit over the last few years.
No kidding. I am handwritten notes, probably the most underrated thing someone can do. 100% open rate when it comes to handwritten notes.
Yeah.
Emails, never know. Calls, they don't always pick up. People typically read text, but it can come across as unauthentic. Handwritten notes, someone takes the time to write you a note. They're always going to read it, and they're always going to be appreciated.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, we just don't get them anymore in the mail, so it's kind of fun when you see that actually an envelope that's handwritten with your name on it, and it's kind of that little 30 seconds of fun opening it up, reading the note. Hopefully puts a smile on someone's face that day.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit. You said that you work with your wife. She's licensed as well. Tell us a little bit about that. when did she get licensed? Was she always in the business, or what did that look like?
Yeah, so Melody joined me. I've been in the business now 17 years. Melody joined me about 9 years ago. She was in the healthcare, had a very successful role, but it was just kind of getting to her. She had moved away from bedside care and moved into more of an administrative role. And I discovered during this process, there's a lot of politics in the hospital, and there's just a lot. And she was missing, honestly, that I call it client, but it's, in her case, it was patient care. I think she was missing that, taking care of patients more. And so I just thought it'd be a good fit for her. And at that point, too, our business was growing, or my business was growing. I needed help. So she made the leap of faith. It was a little scary for her, for having to, both of us being on a 100% commission-based earnings. But I think truly it made her much happier. She kind of went back to that patient care with the clients, being able to serve and help them. And it was more fulfilling for her. And it's helped me tremendously a lot too, because I'm kind of scatterbrained here and there, and she is so type A, just keeps everything in line and keeps me on track, and that's a big part of why our business has grown too. I give her a lot of credit for that.
I was just getting ready to ask if you guys had similar personalities or different. It sounds like maybe a little different, which is, I'm sure, super helpful.
I'm here and here, and she's straight line.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm all over the place, which, a lot of realtors are. You kind of have to be with all the different directions you're being pulled. You think your evening's free, then all of a sudden you're showing a house, and, having someone there who also, has their ducks in a row, is type A, keeps everything organized while you're scattered, can be a massive upgrade for the business.
Huge.
What's the most impactful thing that she does for you guys in your business now that she's working with you?
A lot of it's just on the back end of the business side of it. A lot of times as a busy realtor, you're so focused on your clients and taking care of them, but you're not taking care of your own business, in the background, and staying in line, keeping things. So I give a lot of the backside of the financial things, but honestly too, she has made me a better realtor, because she is such a good listener, and she listens to truly what the clients want. And I've learned a lot from her in that aspect. I mean, sometimes a client tells you, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch home. Okay, you hear it. But she takes that next step. She told me, why do you need this ranch home? What other elements? And we kind of take it a step further, to truly understand the client's needs. And that's a trait that I've learned from her, and it's made me a better realtor. So
that's good.
Women just tend to be good listeners, I think.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Prying into the answer a little bit further, it's not always, I want a ranch home. Well, what's the underlying reason for that? That's great. That can apply to, that's sales. The best salesmen ask questions. They don't give answers. They just keep asking.
Right. You want to get to the root of, what, the client's looking for. So, and I think that they appreciate that too, when you really take the time to invest even further on what their wants and needs are. So it's a great answer. It's a big thing.
Yeah. So obviously you are growing your business very successfully. What do you feel like are some common mistakes you see like realtors out there are making when they're trying to grow their business kind of similarly?
Real estate, it's a long-term game. I think sometimes people get into it and they immediately just want to, I got to sell houses. I got to sell. And yes, I get it. You got to make a living for yourself, but you got to be patient with your people though too. And I think sometimes I see where people get into it and they're trying to almost push clients in a direction or one way. And there's a term called commission breath. You don't want to come across as being too pushy and trying to make that person buy or sell quickly. You got to go at their pace. And I think you just have to go into this industry with that mindset. Like, it could take a while. And I always tell the new agents, you might not make a sale until you maybe 6 or 7 months into your career. Are you prepared? Do you have funds set aside to be able to do that? But once you do, I feel like it is a snowball effect. Once you get a couple of deals done under your belt, then it just keeps growing and growing, because hopefully you're providing a service well enough that they're going to be like, hey, I got to refer you to my friend, coworker, family member, or whatnot. So you just have to be patient. That's probably the hardest part starting out in this industry, is just having that patience.
Yeah, we talk about commission breath a lot on this show, because I think it's the easiest thing for agents to. They sometimes don't even know it, and they just reek of it. And something that I'm thinking of right now that a way to prevent that is to be disciplined with your own personal finances. Because it's easy to hold back the commission breath when, you personally and your family, you live on a budget, maybe you're paying yourself a salary, you're not living commission check to commission check. It'll make you a better realtor when, if that sale doesn't go through or they don't buy that house, you're not going to reek of commission breath because that, hey, we're taken care of at home. We've been disciplined with our finances. I think that's a massively underrated thing that realtors need to be hearing. It's so easy when you're getting, big $8,000 to $12,000 checks for commissions that you're just spending it. You have a couple good months and it's gone the next, and it's going to hurt you.
And it can be tempting, you like you said, you get sometimes those big checks and, hey, I want to go get a new car, or I want to do this for my house, or, I want to go on a trip, but you have to be disciplined and just set some money aside for those rainy days or those, those times where it could be a little slower.
Circling back to when you were rookie of the year, obviously you started off pretty hot onto that. How many transactions did you kind of do that rookie of the year? And do you feel like you just got lucky with good work ethic to be able to start off on such a good foot, or some skills in the construction business that helped you kind of lead to good expertise? Or how do you feel like, what were some of the things that benefited you to help you obtain that?
My first year, I closed 11 transactions. And this is the best part. My sales volume for those 11 transactions was 1.3 million. So I was closing a lot of I wasn't making a lot of money. When you break it down, do the math.
Those are Topeka, Kansas numbers, not Kansas City numbers.
But back then, you literally could buy a pretty decent home for like $125,000 to $150,000. I mean, so. But I knew in my first year, I was looking at it, okay, this is almost like an internship. Like, I just have to learn. I got to get some transactions under my belt. Smart. I got to get, feel comfortable with what I'm doing. The construction background did help, because I could go into a house. My family, it was a commercial construction, but still, regardless, residential, I knew what to look for and things like that. So, and I think when I was going through homes and being able to explain what I was seeing and explain to clients, they built up that trust in me, so they knew I wasn't just like, here's a kitchen, here's a bathroom. Like, I could take it a step further and be like, okay, the foundation here looks a little shaky, we need to do this or that. So that definitely helped. I just did a lot of open houses my first year. So that's how because I learned the lesson early on. I had a friend who I saw on Facebook after a few months I was in the business. They posted, hey, I just bought a house. And I was like, dang it, that was my buddy. Like, why didn't he call me? And so I worked up the courage. I reached out. I'm like, hey, can I ask you why maybe you didn't go with me? I'm licensed. And he gave me a very honest answer. He's like, our first home, we just felt like we needed to work with someone with more experience. I said, I get it. I totally understand. I can't blame you for that. So I quickly learned I need to go to open houses. I need to meet people that don't know me, don't know I've only been in the business maybe a few months, but I need to be able to show them value and gain their trust. And that's what I did, and that's how it worked out. And then by year 2 and 3, I started getting those referrals or those phone calls from people that I did know, that I did grow up with, because then they saw, okay, I think Majid knows what he's doing. He's done several sales. Now they feel comfortable calling me. And that's the other thing, too. I think for new agents, you can't feel too discouraged if maybe people aren't using you. You got to build up that trust and show them you know what you're doing.
I think one of the biggest mistakes agents make when it comes to maybe their friends or sometimes even family that don't use you personally is they write them off. And, if my friend doesn't use me as a realtor, it's like, all right, they're dead to me. And, it's so easy to feel that way. But the reality is they're going to move again. And they're going to pick someone new again. Let's learn. Let's get better. Let's see maybe what that disconnect was. How can we fix it? Also, they know people. You're in the people business. You're not in the house business as a realtor. Right. They're going to refer. And you don't want to burn a bridge when you could have been the person they refer. I have that exact story. One of my good buddies used someone different to buy a house. Less than 2 years later, he's referred 3 clients to me. And you just learn, why didn't they use you? Okay, they had a family in the business. Okay, I get that. Yeah. Stay present. Don't write them off. Add them to your mailing list. Stay in touch with them. And that good business will come from that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. So for whatever reason, maybe it just wasn't meant to be for you to work with that person on this transaction.
Yeah.
But like you said, they could refer you or down the road. And I mean, I had that happen one time where one of my friends' fathers wanted to list their house. They interviewed me. They ended up picking another person, which I was fine with. That was okay. But a couple years later, I got a phone call. It was time for them to move again.
Yep.
And they wanted to go with me that time. So like you can't write people off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what do you think the key is then to turning a one-time client, one-time transaction into a lifelong referral source within this?
Before we dive into that, the Outside the Box podcast is all about serving clients well. And great realtors know the move is when that service matters the most.
At BizBox, we believe the same. BizBox is how realtors support their clients through the move, delivered directly to your client when they need it the most. Printed on 2 sides, packed with everything they need to pack and organize, and delivered straight to their door. Your client is taken care of, and your brand stays present long after the move.
With packages starting at just 5 boxes and free design setup, there's a solution for every budget. Visit bizboxinc.com, click free setup, and own the move in minutes. BizBox, service when it matters most. Now, back to the show.
Staying in contact with them, like the home bot thing and all that. But one thing I always tell people at the closing table too, just because the transaction's ending right now, that doesn't mean this is the end of my services to you.
Yep.
Like, whenever you need something around the house, you need a landscaper, plumber, electrician, HVAC, don't Google it. Let me be your Google. You call me first. Let me provide that resource to you. Obviously being in this industry, we come across so many different vendors. We know who's good, who's not maybe, and things like that. So I try and train my clients at the closing table, like, you're calling me for whatever it is you need around the house. And they do. And I love it. I love getting that call from someone I helped 4 years ago, like, hey, I think my AC's on the fritz. I don't know what to do. I got you. I'm gonna send you a person, things like that. So just really trying to be that resource for them even after the transaction's closed is huge.
Yeah, and I think that's something that realtors can take note of. I mean, we, as a realtor, if you're doing enough business, you're getting those calls, all the time. Hey, all your clients are calling you or they're texting you asking for contractors. I learned very quickly in my career that just as important as your relationships with your clients are your relationships with other agents, co-op agents, and contractors. When you're thinking about, hey, I should go grab lunch with someone this week, or past clients, like maybe you should go grab lunch with your HVAC guy and, get to know him personally, ask him how his family is, buy him lunch, putting a contractor in your back pocket that you can call him at any time and he's going to, bump you to the top of the list or, he's going to take good care of your people. Like that is gold. And I think it just goes underrated.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, those vendors, they're a huge part of, I call them part of my team. Truth be told, I just this week I had my go-to roofer who I use, and I got to give them a quick shout out because they're amazing. Weddle & Sons Roofing. Yeah. I had an inspection. We were close to the deadline, of our resolution period, and I needed a second opinion on the roof. And I knew they were busy with all the storms we've been having here this spring, but I called my person, and Rebecca was like, "We're gonna make it work. We're gonna get somebody out there tomorrow. We'll take a look at it." And that to me was just, it makes me look like the hero to my clients to be able to get somebody out there so quick. And we got the information we needed to know how to proceed. And those vendors are gold, especially if you have a good one. And you should take care of them. You should buy them lunch,
Absolutely.
Maybe taking a box of donuts or something. Just show some love to them,
Yeah, for sure. Because, you said it. They make you look like a champ. And when you have those relationships, that reflects on you. And you can get a roofer out there within a couple hours when, this buyer thought they were just going to be having to settle for a bad roof because we couldn't get it in time. It's like, no, you work with someone who's connected. That's a value add with working with you.
So do some of those vendor relationships that you have leak into your listings at that point and being able to provide that expertise when you're going to list somebody's home as far as kind of trying to provide just insights into the floors or the paint or the carpet or whatever the case may be onto that? How does that look when you're going to list a home and someone's trying to have you as their agent?
I think that's, again, you're providing a value service to that seller. And as you know, you're going through the beginning process, a lot of times sellers like, well, do I need to have my AC fixed, or do I need some new carpet in the bedrooms? You know, the kids tore it up over the years, and being able to provide that, saying, hey, I got a person, I have somebody. That's a huge thing, because a lot of times, especially sellers, if they're getting their house prepared, they're overwhelmed. You know, they've got work, they got family, maybe they're focusing on their next home and they're excited about that. And now this, having to sell this current property, it's just like, oh, there's just such a drain or mental drain. I gotta, you know, but providing that concierge service is what I like to call it. Like, I will take care of it. I'll get somebody in here to get quotes for you for flooring, exterior siding, you know, maybe we need to power wash the deck. And so having that list of vendors to be able to provide to your sellers is huge. And it just makes it easier for them.
I even think I have an example. So, you know, I'm a young guy. I am not into the interior design trends on what's in, what's not. We all see enough houses. We can, you know, tell them the basic answer. But if a client asks me questions, you know, I got to get one of the young girls in my office over there because they know their stuff. And this goes to having good relationships with co-op agents. I have a gal in our office who does paint consulting on the side for a local paint company. And I'll have clients ask me as we're prepping a listing what they should paint. And, you know, you have a good relationship with someone who knows something. It's like, hey, you know, Kelly, can I slide you $250? Can you come with me on this appointment? We're going to go look at this together. I'm going to bring you in as my, you know, expertise on paint. And she's like, absolutely, I could use $250. And she loves doing it. And it makes me look like a champ just because I have relationships. So you don't have to be the source of knowledge if you have an extension to someone who is.
Exactly. And honestly, I think it makes you look better to your clients, because I mean, I'm very honest with my clients. I'm like, hey, I can't do it all for you. You know, I have my limitations too, but let me help bring in somebody who can. I mean, we have a stager that we use a lot too, and I always defer to her when it comes to choosing paint colors, carpet selections, flooring selections, things like that. Because I tell them, like, I have a person that specializes in this. I'm going to bring them in. And like you said, it just makes you look so much better, you know, that you have those resources for your clients.
Yeah, so you've won the 5-star professional award 10 plus years in a row. Obviously, just this quick conversation, I'm seeing why. But what all did that 5-star kind of, you know, professional award entail? Is that just client reviews? Is that, you know, somebody submitting something? Whose kind of award is that, and what does that look like? Not to make you gloat about yourself.
Sean, I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't know how I got it in the first place, but I will take it. And I'm so happy they keep giving it to me every year. But no, I think it does revolve around reviews, and somebody must have at some point, because I think this is year 14 for me, so a while back ago, somebody must have went online and posted something, and now they give it to me every year, so I'll take it. But, you know, I think and I don't think about that stuff too much. My focus is just providing that level of service to clients. And if you take care of your clients, they're going to take care of you. I learned that a long time ago. I learned that in our family business. You know, my dad growing up, he always in the construction industry, he always said, we got to take care of our clients. We got to take care of our clients and our employees. If you do that, they're going to take care of you.
Yeah. If you were, so you're in Kansas City now, hypothetical. If you were to move to a city that you wasn't Kansas City, and you had to start over your career, what would you do to get it going? Obviously, you know, this is a career where it takes some time, but what are some of the key things that you would do to get going?
I think I would, try and network with people, obviously find a good realtor, and, you know, maybe some vendors, people that are successful in the industry, and try and go be a sponge and just learn, see what they're doing. But also too, today with social media, I would pick a location, like maybe a city or even just a neighborhood or just a part of town where you want to focus in on, and then try and become that expert on that and highlight those things. So like maybe you find a restaurant in that particular area that you want to focus on. You go do a food review. Yeah. Go find out like your favorite park. Like, hey, this is a great park, good for dog walking, whatnot. But start posting content on that area about food, parks, schools, just any attractions, whatnot. And you're going to showcase to people, hey, I'm the expert for that area. And I think that builds trust when people are looking online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there an area of Kansas City you feel like you're an expert on with that, and you do some of those things that you just said, posting park reviews or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, growing up majority of my life in Johnson County, you know, I think I'm kind of an expert in there, but I am trying to hyper focus more on the city of Leawood just because my office is in Leawood. I reside in Leawood. So I am trying to be more the focus on Leawood as a whole.
Yeah. With the Chiefs moving out west onto that, I saw you posted something recently about like kind of West Wyandotte County maybe being a hot spot onto that. So any insight on how that will look kind of real estate wise or development wise with kind of trying to get out there first before it booms here in 5 years?
I think now is the time if you're going to be investing money into that area to do it before things really get moving out there, because I mean, as much as they're going to invest, not just the stadium and the team, but it's going to be built up with other entertainment districts and things like that. And I think it's going to put that area on the spotlight even more. And so people are probably going to want to maybe be closer to those attractions and whatnot. So I think, honestly, now in the next year or two is going to be, the time to really get ahead of that curve and try and invest in those areas.
What do you see in kind of like 2026 Kansas City market trends? What's your kind of outlook for the future and what you've seen so far with some of our kind of Kansas City area agents that are listening?
It's still a seller's market. I know, it's funny every year these predictions come out, what it's going to be. And I feel like the last couple of years they keep saying it's just going to be a straight line. Like we're not going to see a big uptick, but I feel like we're still seeing an uptick on home prices still going up a little bit. So, I tell people don't wait. If you're ready to buy something, I would do it sooner than later. And that's not me trying to have that commission breath or be salesy. I just really think like the longer you wait, the more you're going to pay in the future because these home prices just keep going up, So, but that the timing for a buyer, it just really depends on them personally. So you never know what their life situation is like. But I'm real curious to see what the impact of World Cup's going to have on the city. That's going to be pretty incredible. So we'll see. I don't think we'll see maybe those numbers until 2027 or 2028, the impact, but it will, I think, put Kansas City on the spotlight. I feel like Kansas City as a soccer city is already there. Whenever they had, national matches, they always show Kansas City in Power and Light District and all the fans down there. So I just hope we, as a city, I'm excited for the opportunity to be even more on a global spotlight for us.
Yeah. Well, maybe last question before we switch to some rapid fire. Could you share with us one of your biggest referral success stories and maybe what led to that success, if you have a story for us?
Boy, I'm very blessed. I have so many I feel like I could share, but I'll share kind of a funny one with you. I have a client that I met him back in 2009 or 2000. It might have been my very first year, and met this client. It was him and his brother. He was the big brother. He was helping his little brother buy a house, so he just wanted to be involved in it. Helped them buy a house. Then I ended up getting like the sister. Then I got a cousin, and then I got like an aunt or uncle. I went through their family tree I was the family realtor for real. And over the years, I started doing all this. Well, Scott's his name. Scott just recently joined our team. So this has kind of gone from like I've helped his entire family, and now he's a realtor on our team. And I was like, Scott, you should have got in like 10 years ago, man. Like your family's taken care of. And he jokes because I think he thinks like even if his family has real estate questions, they're going to call me first before they call him. That's the running joke in the family right now. Yeah. But I think that's cool though that it started and they had the trust in me that I could go through their whole family, help everyone. And now that it's even more that Scott wanted to get in the business and he came and joined us, because again, that trust in it and, he wanted to work with us. So to me, that's just such an awesome compliment that, we were able to build that trust over all the years and things like that.
That's super cool.
That's awesome. Real quick before you switch to that, I was kind of wondering your introduction to BizBox. How have you feel like our branded boxes have kind of helped kind of be a value add or just a service, or kind of what was your story or kind of background behind that?
First of all, 100% value add. It's awesome. I've had, I just started using your guys' product this year, and everyone's been really happy about it. I figured they'd be like, okay, this is cool, but I've had some clients who are like, this is awesome. Like, thank you. This is something we can actually use, and that's cool because when it goes back to, again, to providing value to clients, I don't want to just pick up the phone like, hey, I'm your realtor. Like, I want to provide value to them.
Yeah.
I want to do, and this really does, because when they're moving, obviously they always need boxes, and it's not just the boxes. It's like, the things that come with the boxes too, that I think is so great. The bubble wrap, the tape, and things like that. It's so useful. So I love it. The other day I was visiting a client who they're getting ready to move out, and I saw, it was such a good feeling. I walked into the house and all my boxes are there. They were there in the dining room. They're starting to box up stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. I even had one of my vendors recently went to go measure carpet, and he saw the boxes there, and after he left, he called me and goes, dude, you have your own boxes? Like, that's the coolest thing ever. No wonder you're kind of a big deal. I'm like, whatever. But even the perception of other people seeing that is huge, So I love the product, and I'm so glad I found you guys. Or actually, I think you guys found me, so thank you for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. We didn't even have to pay for that. That was
yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, let's transition to some rapid fire, and we'll get you out of here. Yeah, rapid fire questions, either or, this or that kind of stuff. First thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Yeah.
Homes.com, Zillow, or Realtor? Where are you sending clients to look at homes, or neither?
I think Zillow, just because it's still got the name recognition. I'm not a fan of this estimate, because I feel like a lot of times they can be so far off.
Yeah.
But it's just that name people recognize. Now, I know Homes.com is coming up, and they've been doing a lot of Super Bowl commercials and advertising on TV with celebrities. So it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, but I tell them, you contact me.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good answer. Yeah.
What about maybe a book or a podcast? What are you tuning into more?
Probably podcasts, just because I'm in the car a lot and it's just easier, know. But I like to read. I just don't make the time to read.
Office or home office?
Honestly, both.
Okay.
I am an office guy. I go to the office every day, but I still spend a decent amount of time here in my home office. I just, it used to be, I felt like I used to get a lot more done at the work office. But now with our team, and I love it, it's just there's so many people there coming in and out the door. You're conversing a lot. So sometimes if there's stuff like I need to sit down and focus for an hour or two, I actually need to come home and use my home office to knock some stuff out. But
for sure,
I'm a people person, so I love being in the office and being around everyone and just seeing what's going on.
How about just off the cuff, Jayhawks or Chiefs? You can only watch one of them for the rest of your life. Which one are you choosing?
Oh, Sean, that's a hard question. Well, since I'm an alumni for KU, I guess I'll go Jayhawks, but I do love my Chiefs too.
There you go. Most underrated app on your phone, work or personal?
Oh, you know what? I'll say this one. It's such a realtor answer or whatever, or business answer, but Mile IQ. I love it because it helps track your mileage. It's saving me money.
Yep.
That is a good app. Realtors, if you're not using Mile IQ, you need to be using that.
Great answer. Great answer. Yeah, I use it. Final question. Where can people find you at? If they have a buyer in Kansas City, they want to refer your way. You have a website, socials. Where can they find you?
Yeah, it's GhavamiHomes.com. On Instagram, we're also Ghavami Homes. Facebook, I'm on there. LinkedIn. I mean, we're basically on everything, even TikTok. But you won't find me on TikTok doing any dancing or anything like that. But we try and be available on all the platforms. But honestly, the best way, probably just GhavamiHomes.com, and all my contact information's on there. You can call, text, email, whatever's easiest.
Love it. Love it. Majid, thanks so much for your time today. This has been awesome. Appreciate you joining us.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. You have a good one.
All right. Thank you.